Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. So back with issue 37, and we actually start to look at our play articles now. So we've only got the one page of the core rules, which looks at deployment abilities, as well as the rules yet to come, and then we have our game. So we're playing a full combat patrol. It will be Archeotech Recovery, as the Tyranids haven't faced Space Marines in that one yet. And we get to utilize Strategems Secondary Objectives and Enhancements for the first time. So yeah, we'll read through the articles first, and then we'll get into a full combat patrol game. So before we roll any dice, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the combat patrol content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. What are you looking forward to in the future, both from the magazine and also from this channel? Is there a series I'm yet to complete that you're wanting me to finish? I know I really want to get on and do the rest of my Get Started 2 series, as I want to get that Blood Angels Combat Patrol fully painted and ready to play games with. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. We'll have a friendly little discussion. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock the entire hobby experience. They'll start you off with models, you can buy your paints through them, they have all the gaming equipment you need, dice, range rulers, tokens, etc. They also stock Combat Patrol magazine, as well as items such as collector coins, pin badges, and pieces of artwork to help decorate your hobby and gaming areas. So check out the link for warbay.shop in the video description, and you might find your next hobby project at a bit of a discount. You could also head down to their store if you're interested to check things out in person before committing to buying. So yeah, warbay.shop, check them out. Right, let's head to the table, update ourselves on these new rules, and we'll get on and play a full Combat Patrol game. Hello and welcome back. So here we are with issue 37 for the final time, and sadly Grafnar is not going to get to see Battlefield just yet, but he will smack smack, blast blast in the next issue. So we'll put him off to the side as we are ready to look at the issues, gaming articles, and we are going to be having ourselves a full Combat Patrol game with the Tyranids and the Space Marines as they fight it off for some Archeotech. So first off, let's look at our new rules, and then we can get on with our game. Into our issue we go, past our build guide, past our lore, and boom, play articles. So we kick things off with a look at deployment abilities. Some abilities are used during deployment, or when setting a unit up, either on the battlefield or into reserves. These are known as deployment abilities, and some widespread examples of these are printed below. So first off, we have Deep Strike. We already know about this. We've utilised it with our Terminators, our Wings Prime models. So yeah, basically allows you to set up anywhere on the battlefield. Must be set up into reserves if you're using this ability. And then you can set up anywhere on the battlefield 9 inches away from enemy models. We have Scouts. So Scout X is a rule that allows you to make a movement where X is the number of inches. So a unit can make a normal move of X before the first turn begins. If embarked on a transport, that transport can make that move instead, but must end 9 inches away from enemy models. Another way to be sneaky is to use the Infiltrator's deployment rule. So this allows you to deploy anywhere in no man's land that is more than 9 from the enemy deployment zone and enemy models. Our final deployment ability to look at is Leader. We've covered this before. So during battle formation steps, for each leader in your army, you can choose to attach it to a bodyguard unit. And usually, unless stated otherwise, a single unit can only have a single leader attached. So it's important to choose the right one for the right situation. Over the page, we've got a look at some of the rules to come. So in future issues, we'll cover all of these rules. So pages 41 to 42, which is actually next issue, we start looking at stratagems. 43, we look at how strategic reserves work. 44 to 52 covers terrain. And then 53 to 54 covers aircraft. But I'm not expecting this to be coming up much in the game. But yeah. So most of the core rules we've learned so far are pretty much what you're going to need for playing combat patrol games. All of these are more in-depth and advanced, but they are useful in the game nonetheless. Speaking of advanced rules, it's time to learn some advanced rules for our two starting factions, the Space Marines and Tyranids. Space Marine Combat Patrol rules. When you play a game of Combat Patrol, you can make choices about the special rules and abilities that will apply to your army during that game. You can choose between different enhancements that benefit your leader, secondary objectives that your army are striving to achieve, and stratagems for your army to use. Enhancements. Every Combat Patrol leader has their own specialisms and abilities, gained either through hard-won experience or from training they have undergone as an elite warrior. Space Marine leaders who excel in often taking their expertise to the heart of battle, where they can fell the strongest enemies. Others are brave and aspiring leaders who urge their troops to victory. Secondary objectives. Fighting often breaks out when two armies want the same thing. Perhaps both want to recover the same piece of technology, or both want to occupy the same ground. But each army also has additional motives called secondary objectives that they aim to satisfy. When the Space Marines go to war, they make extra efforts to destroy their enemies and aim to seize objectives back from their foe's grasp. Stratagems. Stratagems are ploys and tactics that are available to the commanders in the battlefield in the desperate warfare of the 41st millennium. Every advantage must be taken. While Space Marine commanders can take advantage of some maneuvers available to all great leaders, they also have a few tricks that are specific to the Adeptus Astartes and their unique style of warfare. So I won't go into too much detail because I think it would be better if we just see these in action. But we got two enhancements to pick from. You can either be a champion duelist, in which you get precision and lethal hits. Against the Tyranids, this isn't going to be very good, as lethal hits will be good, but we're not going to have many character units that we can't already single out. So precision is kind of wasted. I think though for this battle we're going to go for Oathsworn Determination, which improves the objective control of a unit by 1. Secondary objectives, we've got the choice of either Wrath of the Emperor, so you score 2 points at the end of each phase for each model destroyed by your captain. Well, not each model, but if you destroyed one or more model by your captain, you score 2 victory points. So in the example, he shot the Leapers, killing 1 and getting 2 points. And in the fight phase, he kills the other 2 and gets another 2 points. Then we also have Shock Tactics, so you gain 5 victory points if you control one or more objective marker that your opponent controlled at the start of their turn. I'm thinking possibly, due to the amount of Tyranid units, I think if we can pull off Shock Tactics, that might be our ideal strategy for this game. And finally, we've got Stratagems, so we can use all of these throughout the game. We got a nice resisting one here, so Gene Warp Resilience allows you to subtract 1 from wound rolls, providing your toughness is weaker than the opponent's strength, which is going to be most of the time. Veteran Instincts, this improves the fighting capability of Terminators, allowing you to re-roll wound rolls of 1 against monsters and vehicles, or against all units, sorry, and against monsters and vehicles you can re-roll all failed wounds. And finally, Duty and Honor is what's going to help the Space Marines make up for the lack of a battle line unit, as this allows you to stick an objective with any model in your combat patrol. So it could be a character, it could be a unit. Pretty handy objective. So I won't read through this, but it's effectively the same thing, but more on a Tyranid's point of view. So for their enhancements, they've got the Psychostatic Veil, which is going to make your Winged Prime 100% more durable, as it gives it a 4-up invulnerable save. Plus, you gain Lone Operative, meaning you can't be targeted unless you are your opponent is within 12 and you are the closest visible unit. Otherwise, you could have Secretion Code, which makes the armor penetration of ranged weapons of models within 12 a lot better. If you're going to be sitting back and gunning your opponent, that's probably the better one to go for. But I think I'm going to go for the Psychostatic Veil just to make my Prime more durable so we can take on the enemy characters in a head-to-head fight. Secondary objectives. So we've got either Alpha Xeno Form, which you gain 4 points if your winged Prime model destroyed one or more enemy models in a phase. With him only being good in the combat phase, you're only going to be scoring the 4 victory points once per turn. But yeah, it's still good. I mean, I suppose once per... It says per phase, so this could be during your opponent's turn as well, in their phase. So yeah, you could score quite a few points there. Other than that, you got Chitinous Tide, which allows you to gain 5 victory points for controlling an objective that was in your opponent's deployment zone or within the 6 inches of it. So yeah, pretty good. This one might be important as Archeotech Recovery has one in their deployment zone and one within 6 of their deployment zone. So if I can take those early on towards the end of the game, I think that'd be a good, easy one to pull off. Don't want to run the risk of losing my Prime too early on. I need to keep him around for Synapse, really. So I don't want to get him stuck in. Finally, then we got our stratagems to look at. So Hyper-Reactive allows you to be a little bit more dodgy. When you're being shot or targeted with an attack, you can subtract 1 from the hit roll, making it harder for your opponent to hit you. Voracious Assault, so this one allows you to get a better hit. So until the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack that targets the closest unit, you can reroll hit rolls. You see the Barb Gaunts are rerolling hit rolls against the Hellbrute there. And Teeming Broods is going to be used quite often as it's going to be a revival, so allowing you to add models back, total of D6 models back to your termagants. If the target unit is fully destroyed, you can add a brand new unit into strategic reserves containing 2d6 models. So, it's not really very good talking about things. Let's instead get on with our game and we can see these in action. So I'll see you at the battlefield. Here we are then, ready to play Archeotech Recovery with the Space Marines versus the Tyranids, now that we have access to their full rules. Providing I, of course, remember to utilise their full rules. But, right, we have chosen our secondary objectives and our enhancements. So I've gone for the champion duelist. I was going to go for Oathsworn Determination, but totally forgot that I was meant to be attaching a unit and deploy the captain separately. So I've had to change that. But I'm still sticking with shock tactics so that we can hopefully take control of an opponent's objective marker. And for the Tyranids, we're still going with Psychostatic Veil for the extra durability on our Prime. And we are going to go with the Chitinous Tide, again trying to claim objective markers that our opponent previously controlled. With the Parasite Mortrex in reserve, we could hopefully do that as we can drop in on the rear board, hopefully, at some point. So, the Space Marines are the attackers, Tyranids are the defenders in this one. And it's basically Space Marines have come across a derelict ship, and it's teaming with Tyranids, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? So, here we go for Archeotech Recovery. We'll roll off to see who gets first turn. Space Marines have a 5, and the Tyranids don't. So, it's on to Space Marines. Turn 1. So the first thing to do, each side will of course get a command point. So nothing else in the command phase except for using my command point. At the end of the command phase, I'm using the command point on the Inferno Squad. They now have control of that objective even if they move away from it. So on to movement phase, and that's what the Inferno Squad are going to do. They're not going to be in range of anything, so they're going to make an advance and hopefully get to cover. Not with that, rather not. It's a 7, so they're closer. Terminators won't advance as they're going to move up and hopefully be able to shoot at those Von Ryan's Leapers that are in there. Chaplain on bike is going to sit back, and the captain will move up the 5 and get onto that objective. Shooting. Alright, as I said, we'll open fire and we'll start with the Terminators against the Leapers. 6 shots for their assault cannon. Hitting on freeze. If the Librarian is in the unit, sustained would have been nice, making up for those losses. We want those 6s again, as we have devastating wounds, which strength 6, tough 5, so freeze. 1 devastating, so that's 1 damage that can't be saved, and 1 regular save. AP minus nothing, so they're 4 up armor save. Saved, but they do take a single wound. Then we got 4 Storm Bolters, none are in rapid fire, so it's just 2 shots each for 8, hitting on freeze. Ow, they haven't loaded the homing ammo. And wounding on 5s, only the 1, 4+ armor, saved. They do have benefit of cover, so there would be a 3+ armor. The captain will do the same, 2 shots, hitting on 2s. Wounding on 5s, no. And that is all that can be done, as everything else advanced. So with that, it's ready for Tyranids turn 1. So our Psychophage is going to move up 8 into the centre there. Our Termagants will advance, trying to get onto that objective. 2, that's good enough. 7 gets them within the 3. So I'll shuffle up like that. Minus the 2 for going over the terrain. Our Leaper's going to go 8 towards the captain. These Termagants will stay still, as will the Prime. I'm not going to be bringing in the... I forgot, command point. I'm not going to bring in the Parasite yet. Then we are on to shooting, so 12 inches, I don't think I'm in range of anything, no. So I can't shoot to the Psychophage, can't shoot with anything else really. 18 on the Termagants. I can get the front 2 Termagants in there, so might as well. Hitting on 4s, no. In that case, it's straight over to the charge phase, and we've got a command point. So I've got to do over moment, but there wasn't much in target range, so I'll remember over moment next time. All we have to do is a charge with Leapers. 8. Will that be enough? Yes. So they attack the captain. Fully healthy squad, hitting on freeze. I forgot the -1s on a lot of my shots earlier. This stealth, but it's fine. We didn't exactly hit on much less than a 4 anyway, if you think. And wounding on 4s with strength 5, or strength 6 are claws. Strength 5. So wounding on 4s. Ow, not very good. 4 wounds through on the captain. -1, so he's down to his 3+ armor. Ow, failed 2. You know what, yeah, let's command point reroll one of those. One colour dice, but it's a success. So we've only lost the 1 wound. That's fine. And captain gets the fight back. 6 attacks with his relic sword, hitting on 2s. Everything. Wounding on 3s. Strength 6, tough 5. Ouch, not very good. 2. -2. So it's down to their 6 up save. Made 1, failed 1. We'll command reroll that fail. I'm using the wrong colour dice again. But still a fail. So we will take 2 damage. So it does kill the wounded leaper. And with that, that's pretty much the end of turn 1. Pretty quick. But things are about to escalate as we are now going to get really nitty gritty. So moving on to Space Marines, turn 2. First thing then, Oath of Moment is going to go down. I think... yeah, the big thing's going to have to die, so it's going to be focusing on the Psychophage. The captain can probably handle the Leapers. The chaplain will drive over and give him a hand. So, movement, command phase first. So, command point. End of command phase, don't need to do anything. I'm going to move my Inferno Squad in. So we also gain victory points now. So we score 5 for holding 1. We didn't hold the center at the point of gaining command points, and the captain is outnumbered by the Leapers. Objective control 2 to objective control 1. So we just score the 5. And on to shooting. So we don't get rerolls to hit against the Psychophage with the Pyroblasters, as they are torrent weapons. So let's see how many shots we get though. A lot. Nice, that's what I like to see. So, strength 5, tough 9. These are going to be wounding on, it's not double, so 5s. And I won't reroll because it's going to be a really hard chance of getting a success on a reroll. But 5 Pyroblaster wounds, 5 saves of 3+. We will command reroll 1. Saved, and then only 1 damage, so we get feel no pain of a 5. No, so it is just a 1 damage. Alright, Terminators can see over the terrain, which is good. So we get everything shooting at the Psychophage, and we do get to reroll hits with this for the Oath of Moment. And we also get 1 to hit rolls because we are Terminators. So hitting on 2s, rerolling misses. There we go, that's everything. Strength 6, toughness 9, 5s. Not a sausage. 16 Stormbolter shots. Hitting on 2s. Everything hits. Nice. And wounding on 6s. 3. 3+ armor. Ooh. Failed 1. 5+ feel no pain. Still failed 1. Down to Took 2 wounds so far. Okay, charge phase, chaplain charging in, you can't really fail. No, that 3 is enough. And now on to the fight phase. Leapers will fight first. 2 of them for 12 attacks. We'll focus on the wounded captain, hitting on 3s. Doing pretty average. Nope, yeah, well, pretty much the entire one missed. And wounding on 4s. Ouch. That's 5 saves on the captain. Free up armor. Ouch. Definitely going to be spending a command point to reroll one of those. Ouch. Still a fail. Oh dear, the captain isn't doing too well. He is down to 5 out of 6 wounds. No, 1 plus 4. So it failed 3. So champion duelist, spares melee, has precision and lethal hits. Totally forgot about that. But we'll remember now because he gets to fight back after the chaplain, because the chaplain gets fights first. So chaplain then will get to fight with his Crozius, 5 attacks. Hitting on 3s. No, 2's the Crozius, so failed 1. Strength 6, so wounding on 3s. Failed 2 wounds, but 2 wounds through. These are -1, but 2 damage each. So if we're still healthy, we can pass this 5 plus armor. Made 1, failed 1. We'll command reroll that fail into success, so we're fine. And then the captain gets to fight back with his 6 attacks. Hitting on 2s. All but 1, pretty good. So don't need precision, but lethal hits. So 6s will be unsavable. Wounding on 3s. Ooh, there's 2 unsavable, so that's 1 dead leaper, because it's 4 damage. And 1 leaper has 3 saves to make. Of 6 up invulns. Nope, and we've got no points to reroll. That's another 4 damage. Captain can consolidate, but he won't move. Chaplain will consolidate, and he'll just move 3 inches closer. And we get shock tactics, so 5 victory points at the end of the turn, because the Tyranids did control that at the start of the turn. So we do get shock tactics, which is pretty cool. And hopefully if we're still surviving, we'll score maximum points next turn. So anyway, on to Tyranids turn 2. So Psychophage will shimmy sideways, just actually that's 4. Move to there for an extra 2. And the termagants can swarm the objective. Those termagants are going to still sit still, hold that objective, because we'll probably need a surging force. Right, we are now in flesh borer range, and we didn't advance, and we're also going to spew over there. First off, command points and victory points I totally forgot about, so we'd have held 1, 2, which is not more than the opponent, but that's still 10 victory points for the Tyranids. Battle shock forcing would have been nice, actually. Do that now. I won't do Shadow in the Warp this yet. Don't want to use it too early on. Maybe turn 3. Right then, that's movement done. Shooting, so we've got 10 termagants firing their flesh borers at the Infernus Marines in cover. 4's to hit. Nice, only 2 missing. Strength 5, tough 4, freeze. Only 1 failing to wound. These are no AP, so cover won't affect. So that is 7 3-up armor saves. And they're all fine. We get D6 plus 1 vomit. And not just D6, which is 5. That's pretty cool. Auto hitting, because it's Torrent and it's strength 6, toughness 5 Terminators, wounding on freeze. 3 wounds. And -1, so 3-up armor. Oh, saved. Ouch, you wore the correct suit of Terminator armor this time. Charges. I don't really want to get too close to the captain, but I think I do want to try and get rid of those Terminators, so I'm going to have to charge. And we'll need a 5 to get in. And we get in with an 8. So we'll go in like that. So now it's D6 plus 1. Oh, it's always 1 when I get into melee. Hitting on freeze. Wounding on freeze. That's how it goes. Terminators pile in then. Everybody's in melee range. This ain't going to end well. Right, we'll do the 4 attacks of the sergeant first, because he's not going to wound very easily. So hitting off 2s, re-rolling 1s. That's everything. And wounding on 6s, because he's only strength 4. I think it's strength 5 for the power sword. Strength 5. So still wounding on 5s. 1. -2. But only a single damage. Failed. 5-up feeling of pain. Also failed. That's his 3rd wound. And then we got 4 lots of power fists. I think I made a mistake charging in, knowing I am target of the over moment. Hitting on 2s of power fists, rerolling 1s. Just the 1 reroll into success. And it is still 5s because we are only strength 8, toughness 9, so we're 1 left. But that is 4 at -2, and these, crucially, are 2 damage each. So he's down to a 5-up armor. Made 2. So that's reduced the damage pool at least. But now I need to make 4 5-up feel no pains. Made another 2. So I'm down to 5. Which isn't going to be very good because I am now at half wounds. But I'm only exactly half, so I don't need to worry about battle shock just yet. But with that, it is over to Space Marines. Turn 3. Oh, for a moment, we'll stay on that psychophage as we want it absolutely dead. So, command phase, gaining command points. We do score 1, 2. He is only objective control 3. So, providing we got at least 2 Terminators in, we are objective. No, we're only objective control 1 each, so we need 3 to be in range. No, we've only got the 2 in range. Plus, it's turn 3, that's the point. We need to designate defender will choose an objective to randomly select 1. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the tray. It's seeming to be 3, so it might be the central objective. It is the central objective. So the central objective will go at the start of 4th battle round. So we know where we need to focus our defensive positioning to. But anyway, O for moment is staying on the psychophage. And we score 5-10, which is not more than the opponent. So just 10. But if we can kill the psychophage, we'll take control of that one, as that is currently in control of the Tyranids player. I don't know, would the Inferno squad count? But that'd only be a 1, so it'd only be a tie. That'd be interesting if it would count, but yeah, it's only a tie, so we'll count it as in Tyranid control for the moment. So, movement phase, the Inferno squad will stay with a 2. The captain will... Do I drop a command point? I think we will drop a command point so the captain can sticky that objective. Then he's going to move 5. Chaplain's going to move... You know what? He's going to go over here. 12 inches, isn't it? Yeah. So that was 11. I got 1 inch there. He's going to start threatening those termagants on the objectives. So shooting phase, we'll do the chaplain first, because actually no, he's only... Each time this model is selected to shoot, you can select one enemy unit within 12 and visible until the end. Ranged weapons equipped by models in this model's unit have devastating wounds. Yeah, it's only him. So yeah, we'll use that. Devastating wounds on those guys, not that it's mattered. But we should be within range for rapid fire on our twin bolt rifles. So that is 4 shots hitting on freeze. 2. And winding on freeze, because it's strength 4 to 3. 6 is on devastating, so that's 1 unsavable dead Tyranid. Then we got 5 Pyreblaster shots. That's a lot. Be right back. 22 automatic shots. This is going to be barbecue. Automatic wounding on freeze. Uh, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, 16 saves. This is going to be fun. 5, 10, 16. No AP, so 5 up armor. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 fails there, and we've only got 9 in the unit. Bye bye, termagants. And we're not controlling the objective, sadly, so we can't get the bonus 5 victory points. On to charge phase. You know what? The chaplain might as well charge into the back, and the captain's going to charge as well. So, captain needing at least a 4, and he gets a 7. So yeah, he'll just go into the side. And the chaplain will need a 3, a 6. So captain and chaplain fight first. We'll do the chaplain. 5 attacks hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. That's everything. We'll shrink 5. No, shrink 6, so still 5s. No, only the 1. Ow. -2 though, so 5 up armor. Saved. 6 attacks then with the captain's power sword, or relic weapon. Wait, I've forgotten to move the captain's wound marker. Rerolling 1s, everything hits. Strength 6, tough 9, 5s. Only the 1. But he does have devastating, so that's unsavable. 2 damage. But you still get feel no pain for that. Which he doesn't save, so it's another 2 damage, putting him to 7 out of 10 wounds. He's only got 3 left. Terminators, can they finish it off? So, Sergeant, actually no, Psychophage will fight first. D6, wow, we get an extra 1. Actually, you know what? No, I won't roll command points. I'll say that to try and save myself. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. I didn't say who was going to put it on, so it would have to be the Terminators, as it's a unit, not a character. So -1. 3 up armor. Ow, we do fail. So 1 Terminator takes 2 wounds. D8 will be fine. Put on the Sergeant, of course. Don't want to lose the fists, as they're the more important weapon in this situation. Speaking of the fists, 3 attacks with each of the 4 fist Terminators, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Wounding on 5s. Just a 2. Two, 5 up armor saves. Didn't make any. We will try to command reroll one of those. So we can deny the armor. No, we can't. So that is 2 through at 4 damage each. This will kill him if he doesn't save them all. And he's only saved the 1, so that is the 3 he needs to die. Deadly Demise, though. Can we get it off on a 6? No. But that has eliminated not only the biggest threat, but a monster controlling an objective. So we'll gain 5 points at the end of the round for taking control of an objective that was previously controlled by the enemy. And consolidation, Terminators will just shuffle, as will the captain. Chaplain doesn't need to. And that's the end of the Space Marines' turn, and they're leading 25 to 10. Tyranids are going to have to seriously catch up. Right, we are going to drop in, though. Well, first off, command points and scoring. So 1 command point each. We score 5. And we did technically control that with a battle line unit, so we do still control that. So that's 10. Not more than the opponent, though. But end of movement. Boom, we drop him in. And I'm going to let them come to me still. I'm going to sit back and shoot, I think, and hold home objective. That'll go in the start of next turn. Right. So, Parasite has dropped in. We don't get Chitinous Tide as control doesn't change. Technically, it's not going to change because he has only objective control 1. Whereas they have the collective objective control 5. I suppose without them being there, he would be in control of it, but that won't be to the end of the command phase, which he came in during the movement phase of. Confusing, I know, but that's how it works, I think. So yeah, he's dropped in. We will finally move up. We want to get as many guns. Well, actually, we don't need to move up. We can get as many guns as we want on that chaplain, at least. Where we're to. Try and whittle down the Space Marine force if we can. So yeah, I'm not going to get chitinous tide, I don't think, at this rate. Do I have any command stratagems I want to use, actually? Yeah, since we're still in the reinforcement step of the movement phase, I'm going to use teaming broods on the destroyed unit. So we set up into strategic reserves a 2d6 strong unit of termagants. 5. So 5 termagants will come in during our next reinforcement step. So I'll set them up on the board edge. Other than that, nothing I can use at the moment. So everything else is shooting, your shooting or fight phase. So with that, it's going to be shooting, and we'll shoot our 10 flesh borers into the chaplain. See if we can knock him out. Hitting on 4s. Actually, thinking about it, let's use another command point for Voracious Assault. I know I've got no command points left for anything else, but this we can re-roll the hit roll. So until the end phase, each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets the closest eligible target, which it is, they can re-roll a hit roll. Sweet. So hitting on 4s, re-rolling all misses. So 3 successes so far. 4s, that's a little better. 8, strength 5, toughness 5 of the chaplain, I believe. Yep. So 4s. Ouch, and they all wound. So that is 8 wounds on our chaplain. Ow. Minus nothing, luckily. So it's a free up armor. But failing 4 of them isn't going to do any good. He's alive, but only with 1 wound. You know what? I'm going to command point re-roll 1 of those. There we go. He's took 3 wounds now. Ouch. That hasn't done a chaplain a lot of good. But there we go. That was a tactical advantage to us. Right, charge phase. The parasite will try to charge, needing, I should be 9 away, but why am I 8? I suppose because I measured 9 to there and I put myself a little bit too far forward. So yeah, at least 9 would be nice. No, and I got no command points left. So he's just sat there now. Oh well, bye, I guess. And on to Space Marines. Turn 4. So start of turn 4, the central objective is gone. And the Space Marines now choose another objective randomly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oop. Top 1 goes away at the end of, or the start of the 5th battle round. So we're going to converge on the remaining objective, I think. So Terminators will advance. You know what? I don't ever advance with Terminators. So let's gain some command points first. And victory points. So we control 5 for the stickying from the captain. And we are still in control of that one because the objective because, well, actually no, end of this command. Oh, it's end of the command phase, the control will change. So hang on a sec. Okay, so it all kind of happens at the same time. So we'll do it in control change and then secure. So end of the command phase, control of this objective will change as those guys are no longer within 1 inch of it and have higher control over that objective. We do still control that one because there's no enemy units and the captain stickied it. So we do score 5, which is not more than the opponent. So in that case, it's over to movement. And for moment, we'll go on. I would say the prime, but he's got lone operative, so he can't be targeted unless he's the closest unit within 12. Plus, anything I'm going to be shooting at the parasite isn't going to be requiring a hit roll. I won't put O for moment down at the moment. So, advance roll for the Terminators trying to get to the objective. Freeze, that gives them an 8-inch move. That's pretty good. The chaplain will just move, he's 12, and he'll move right over to here. And the captain will also advance, getting another freeze, that's another 8-inch. He's pretty much attached at this point here. The first Marines will... is everybody in range? No. So I will move 3 inches with that guy. He's in range, they're in range. So it's just one guy I need to move 3 inches with. So now we're all in range of the Pyre Blaster shots, so that's what we're going to do. So 5d6 on that poor parasite. And pretty poor roll, they used up all their ammo last time, so that's a 1. 2 2s, 2 4s. Strength 5, toughness 5, 4s. And that's a lot of wounds. 3, 7, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, he's lone operative, but he is the only visible unit, and we are within 12. We don't need to worry about stealth because we're automatic hitting. Oh, that's a point. I was going to do Shadow and the Warp this command phase, weren't I? Ugh, forgot about that. Right. Not that it would have made much difference, but because we're not going to be in control of anything until next turn. That's when I need to do it. I'll save it for the last turn. So he has no invulnerable save, but he does have a 4-up armor at least. Oh, he saved a good few. Save 6. Is he 4 wounds? He's 5 wounds. He's alive, but on 1 wound. That's why we do need a battle shock at least for the captain and the chaplain, as they are both below their starting strength of wounds. So the captain has failed. Actually, can I use command reroll for battle shock tests? Yes, because it says test. So command point reroll for the captain. What's his leadership? No, that's still a fail. So he's battle shook, and the chaplain is just fine. Alright, that's it for the end of Space Marines turn 4. There's not a lot left for them to do. So it's over to Tyranids turn 4, so Strategic Reserve. Our unit comes on and can move. So I move 6 inches on from our board edge. Are we still in range? Yeah, we're still in range, and the captain will be our closest valid target. Because he's not attached to the Terminators. The fool. So, Parasite's still alive at least. But he does need a battle shock test because he is below half his strength. So, Parasite Mortrex has a leadership of 8. He is a synapse creature, so he's in range of himself. Phew, made it on a 10. And he will move, he can move 12, he's just going to move 7, so he's 1 inch away. He's going to try and murder some of those things. I don't know, again, I keep skipping at the command phase. So gain a command point, victory points, we score 5, 10, which is not more than the opponent now, because they now control that one at the end of my command phase. So just a 10, so it puts us to 30. So we're tied at the moment, but Space Marines have a chance of controlling a lot, hopefully. Shooting then. 5 termagants will shoot at the chaplain. Missing. Right, the important one is going to be those 10 termagants shooting at the captain, and I'm going to use a command point for the reroll all failed hits against closest target, which is good because I'm going to need it. 5 hits so far, and an extra 2. Strength 5, tough 5, 4s. That's good. 3 wounds. So if I had a stratagem to make critical hits, that would have been nice. But it does force him lots of saves, but he's 2+. He does fail 1. Which, you know what, we'll command reroll. Ow, into a fail still. I need 1 damage, so we're still alive. 5 out of 6, I believe. Yes, wound 6, we're fine. Charge phase. We haven't learned about full stratagems yet, and that's next issue. So no fire overwatch. So charging in, and we do a lot of damage. So we get 6 attacks with our claws and 1 attack with our barbed ovipositor. So we are hitting with everything on 2s. Missing 2 claw limbs, that's fine. So the ovipositor is anti-infantry 3+, so that wounds on a 3+. And claws and limbs are strength 5, so they also wound on 3+. Failed 2 more wounds on the claws, but we have got the ovipositor through, which is the important bit. So -2 on that, and it's damage free. So saving against the ovipositor, saved. And then 2 saves against clawed limbs at 4s. Failed 1. These are single damage each. Yes, these are only 1 damage each. So 1 Infernus Marines wounded. Then we get to pile in. 15 attacks going back. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 5s, so toughness 5. Fall through at no AP, so 4 up armor. He needs to pass all of these or he is toast. And there's that 1 fail. You know what? Command reroll that. Come on into a 4. Yes! Saved it. Booyah. So that is the end of Tyranids turn 4. On to the 5th and final battle round. So here we go. So this objective, boom, disappears. So it's all for the control of this final objective. Can we do it? First off, command points. Second off, shadow in the warp. So battleship test for all units on the battlefield. So this unit, they're fine. This unit, they're fine. Captain, ooh. No, he's still battle shook. Chaplain, he's battle shook. So those two can't control the objectives, but the Terminators can. So that in mind, Chaplain's going to go forward 4 inches. Captain will go 5 towards that terrain feature for cover. And our Terminators will go 5 inches forward. And claim that final objective. Right, victory points though, we only score that one, which was 5. And we score an extra 10 for it at the end of our final turn. End of the battle, yeah. So, shooting, Chaplain will shoot 4 shots into the termagants. Hitting on freeze, wounding on freeze. No devastating wounds. 2 for 5 of armor. No. 2 dead. Captain can't see over that, sadly, but the Terminators can see. So, assault cannon. And we didn't put over moment down. It is gonna, yeah, we're not gonna do anything. We'll sit this back. Ooh, bad. Fine. Luckily it's strength 6, toughness 3, so 2s do wound. 3, 4, 5 up armor saves. Made 2, failed 1. And then we get a lot of stormbolter shots. 4, 8, 16. Well, that's the point. He won't be able to see because that is blocking terrain, but those guys can see, so we lose 4 shots. Hitting on freeze. Wounding on freeze. 6. These little termagants are going to need all the luck they can muster. Yeah, no, they're dead. And finally then for shooting, 5 bolt pistols into the parasite. Hitting 1, missing once even. And 5s, wounding once, which is all we need. And we need him to fail this save. No. On to combat it is then. So, Parasite will fight first. 5 attacks with its claws and 1 of its ovipositor. Hitting on freeze, everything. Wounding on freeze, no, 2s even to hit. Wounding on freeze of everything. Miss 1 claw. So, -2 on the ovipositor. 5 up save. Failed, so that will kill the wounded Infernus Marine. And there's just 4 saves on -1, so 4 up. Ow! Another 1.5 go down. That does reduce the amount of attacks coming in at least. 9 going back with combat blades. Ooh, and they have been scared from that murderous. Not even a single wound. So that is still there, and he's still technically. And he's not battleline, so he doesn't control that. On to Tyranids turn 5. And yeah, it's going to be a clawed finish. So let's move forward and try and at least kill that captain. So 6. Put him just in that corner. And our Winged Prime is finally going to get involved. And you know what? You're going to go kill the chaplain. Command points again, I keep forgetting. So 1 each, 1 each. And we score 5. And that's it. We score 5. So we are now 35 to 35. It's still a tie. And we're not going to kill those Space Marines to get that last objective. I mean, we need to kill something, and then also we need to get onto that objective, and we'll need to make a charge move. It's going to be a long one. Let's try it at least. So let's do things quickly. Movement done. Shooting 10 shots at the captain, and we're going to use Voracious Assault for full rerolls, as he is the closest target. Although we have got 2 guys who can't see us, so it's only 8 shots. But those 2 guys that can't see him can choose to target the Terminators, I think. Let's have a look. That guy can't, but that guy can. Ooh, actually. Those guys, okay, we've got 3 who can't. So 7 shots at the captain. Rerolling all hit misses, which is 1. And wounding on 4s. I need a 3. So 3, 2 up armor saves, and this could go badly. No, he's fine. And then we got 1 guy who can't see anything, but 2 guys who can see the Terminator squad. Hitting on 4s, 1, wounding on 4s, wounds, 2 up save, saved. Termagants will attempt to charge the captain. Actually, I wanted to charge Terminators, and with that charge, it would have been a good idea. I should have charged both. Because then I could have hopefully got some guys in control range. Dang it. But I have got distance. No, even... Actually... I could get in objective control range, but it's going to be tight. As we haven't learnt about heroic intervention, we won't heroically intervene with the Terminators. Wing Prime into the Chaplain, he's also in with a high roll. We'll go for murdering the enemy if we can't murder anything else. So we will do well, everything fights first. So as I've got 6 dice here, we'll do the Prime, these Talons hitting on 2s. Ouch. And wounding on 3, strength 6, tough 5. 2, that's at least all we needed. -2 the Chaplain save, so it's on to his invulnerable. 4s, made 1, failed 1. You know what, I want him to survive, so command reroll, saved. Phew, well, that's my command reroll done for this phase, sadly. And so I've got points left, annoyingly. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models in base-to-base contact. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 5s. Nothing. And the captain gets the strike back. I've got 5 dice, so I'll do the Chaplain first. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s. 2. -2, so 4 pinvuln. Save them both. Captain then 6 attacks, murdering Termagants. Everything hits. Oh, we don't everything wound though. 3 at no save. But that is pretty much it. So termagants will have 1, 2 for an objective control of 6. No, 4 even. Against an objective control of 5. So yeah, even that hasn't helped. The Infernus Marines get the fight back before they die, though, as it's the Tyranids' turn. Ooh, getting better. Can we kill him? 5s. 2. 4-up saves. No, he's dead. We have murdered the Parasite Least. Now we consolidate towards the closest objective. But with that end of the turn, we can't actually put any control. Well, I mean, actually, if I... Let's see. If he consolidates like that, but he consolidates into the Terminators. That would push it 6. Actually, our Terminators are objective control anyway. Objective control 1, so 5. Yeah, if I had bothered to attach into the Terminator squad, they'd have been fine, but no. So yeah, due to that... Ooh, he's actually... So we'll consolidate like that, consolidate like that, consolidate like that. Actually, do you consolidate if you've won a fight? Yeah, we'll consolidate like that so that we are actually on the objective and we score 10 points, putting us to 45 to 10, 15, 20, 10, 20, 30, 35. So yeah, 45 to 35. Tyranid victory. There we have it. So there we go. That's a game of combat patrol utilising faction abilities, stratagems, secondaries, etc. Sadly, we didn't get to use... We got to use quite a few of the Space Marine stuff. Didn't get to use too much of the Tyranids, though. Holding back for quite a while didn't exactly do us much good. But yeah, although actually we would get additional 5 points for Chitinous Tide. At the end of your turn, score 5 points. If you control one or more objectives that are, within 6 inches of the opponent's deployment zone, so no, we wouldn't have got that. We needed to control that. But actually we would have gotten when... Actually no, because we need to be there in the command phase for the objective control to change. And which we were, because we didn't, we failed a charge. With this guy, we failed a charge, so he's there during the next command phase. So Tyranids get an additional 5 points, putting them up to 50. Because that was technically within 6 inches of your opponent's deployment zone, because it's in their deployment zone. So there we have it. Tyranid victory, 50 to 35. And yeah, pretty good. Nice, utilising a lot of the abilities that we haven't yet seen. Finally getting the full might of the Space Marines to bear over moment was beneficial and clutch to winning. Piling into a unit that they hadn't made the charge on, which I could have done if I'd bothered to declare both, but I wasn't expecting a 6, 12 even to charge. But yeah, other than that, everything has gone pretty well. And it's a Tyranid victory. All that's next to do is say what's in the next combat patrol. Well, we know what's in the next combat patrol. It's the part 2 of our Hellbrute. So speaking of, I'm off to slap 3 coats of black on this guy, getting ready for painting in the next video for issue 37. We've also got some nice new pages of lore to go through as well. And then we of course get to try this guy out in a Gauntlet of Pain. Right. All that's left for me to do then is to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.